Hello everyone. The last part of my random collage process is adding details, fixing problems, all that kind of thing. So I like to add really small images as details to add interest to my collages. And that's the last thing I like to do because I don't want to cover any of that stuff up. So some of the things that I add at the end are little tiny pictures, bits of tickets, words, and stickers, and little things like that. What I'm doing is I'm making sure that all the little bits, the white spots, are covered. Things that I don't want to see are fixed. Anything that's floating, I want to put something underneath like washi tape or something so that it doesn't look like it's floating in midair. I want to make sure a lot of my straight edges, if they catch my eye too much, I want to cover the straight edges as much as I can. And this is the spot where I do all of that stuff. So I do add little tiny images, tickets, a bit of stamped images, and I do stamp right on top sometimes, and that blends in sometimes these straight edges. And sometimes I just leave them. It just depends on how bad it catches my eye. I do use paper punches, the little images from paper punches, and the thing that it leaves, the space that from the paper. I use both of those in here, but I like the little detailed pictures. There's not a lot in here. Stickers and things like that. The little tiny logos that you find in advertisements and things, I always save those, and I use those quite a bit. I have a bunch of these little tiny pictures, mostly logos from advertising, and I will put them in my collages at this point in little places. It needs just a little bit of a touch of something. This white edge here might, I might need a little something to put there, just if that really catches my eye. So that's the kinds of things that I do at this last stage. I add a lot of the words. If I want to add words, this is when I do that. And the reason I wait to the very last is these are the little tiny bits that I don't really want to cover up with anything else. These are my my cherries on my ice cream sundae. So I put those on last. So this is one of the collages that I've been working on. I think I showed this in the last video. I've got some spaces here that need to be covered up, and this isn't entirely to my liking. So this is the part where I fiddle and I add things until the collage looks like what I want it to look like. Now I've grabbed some things. I usually have a little basket with little tiny images that are cut out that I go through looking for things to cover up things that I don't want to look at here. So I've already done that, and I've picked out a few things to cover up this whole bottom edge I do not like. So I wanted to cover up the whole bottom here. I don't like it at all. So I've got a little bit of painted papers to cover. Sometimes I use a little bit of torn book pages or the security envelopes. I might have to use a little bit of security envelope in here because that little straight edge there kind of catches my eye a little bit. So if I put a piece of torn paper over it, it blends that straight edge into the page a little bit more, and it doesn't catch my eye so much. So what I've done is I found a few things to put on the bottom here, and I like to add little details, and I thought that adding a hat to this face would be kind of cool. So that's all I'm doing. I treat collage kind of like an ice cream sundae. So the details are the whipped cream, the nuts, and the cherry on top. So I always add those things last and cover up spaces that I don't like. So that is it. If you want to see more of my process, my collaging, I do have quite a few live streams that are recorded, and you can watch me as I put together pages. I do have a playlist that has that's called Collage. I will put these streams in this playlist so that you can find them easily, and you can watch as I put pages together from start to finish. I don't like to do just one page and from start to finish. I like to work on quite a few pages. I do all the backgrounds, and then I put focal points on, and then I go back and I add all the details. So I will have a playlist called Collage, and so you can see how I go about doing that. I do talk about my thought process. You know, I talk out loud why I'm selecting certain things, and why things I don't like things or I do like things, and you can see how I put things together. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please ask your questions in the comments below, and I will answer as best as I can. Thanks for watching.